very carefully.
Give us a statement, Commissioner. Come on, Commissioner, give us a statement.
Later. Was it hydrosulfurous acid in the water? Later, gentlemen, later.
Hey, there's McMillan. Is the asylum killer a man or a woman?
Do you have any leads,
Come on, were there any witnesses?
Any leads, Commissioner? I
Commissioner?
just got here, gentlemen. Later.
Commissioner, we found footprints again.
Yeah, I do too.
The usual overshoes?
Well, it looks like it, but I'm afraid they're not going to do us any good.
The asylum killer's footprints, Commissioner?
It looks that way.
Can't you just see him standing there watching? In his last letter, Commissioner, he said he was always sorry when one of his victims died.
How long are you going to let one man terrify an entire city?
I hope you realize the kind of coverage you're giving these killings is only adding to the hysteria. A little less sensationalism would be greatly appreciated by your police department.
Any leads, Commissioner?
We'll get him.
When, Commissioner?
Get back to the lab now, Commissioner.
All right. Tom, get a report back to me as soon as you can.
Yes, sir.
I shouldn't let the press get to me like that, but that Peter Jordan would have his viewers hysterical by nightfall if I didn't say something a little reassuring.
I thought you were most reassuring, sir. I feel much better. I just hope that the asylum killer hears that he's committed his last murder.
Yeah, and like everyone else in this town, believes everything he hears on the news.
You mean you think he's already planning his next one?
I do. If only there was some connection between all these killings, a motive, anything. At least we'd have some way of predicting who his next victim might be.
Hey, I see you! What do? Get your kick stealing the police commissioner's paper? I can see the news on TV, you know.
This ought to be good.
Hello? Oh, Mother, how are you? You're leaving right now?
That's the way the contest works, they said. You have to be able to go immediately. And of course I am, so I said yes. Except that tomorrow's your birthday, of course. And I feel bad about that.
Don't worry about that. You can get me something expensive when you get back. Anyway, I'm sure the Mac has got something marvelous planned for tomorrow night. Mother, that's it. The dinner was for tomorrow night.
I'm not following you.
Oh, Mother, wait a minute. It all started this afternoon when I got a call from Mealing's restaurant telling me that my husband wanted me to meet him for dinner there tonight. Something about a religious holiday that was celebrated by... It doesn't sound like Mac. That sounds exactly like Mac, Mother. Anyway, I went. But I ate alone. Mac never showed up. Well, now I realize it was the restaurant that made the mistake. Mac meant dinner for tomorrow night. That's it. I can't remember my own birthday. Mildred? Mildred, where are you? Mildred, where are you?
How sweet.
Where are my needles? Oh, Mildred, did you have to take my needles out of my knitting? Mildred, where are you?
You win.
Flagging attendance is forced one of the most unique doubleheaders in sports. For the price of one, you'll get a roller skating match race, and as soon as they can clear the court, a basketball game. Now, if that doesn't get the fans out, they're threatening to bring in an ice rink for a doubleheader of basketball and ice.
Sent directly to this newscaster earlier this evening. The crazed murderer boasts he'll deliver his 6th and 7th victims simultaneously and in the immediate future.
We go now to police to discover the identity of the murderer. Clearly has citizens in a panic. No longer content to depend on San Francisco's finest for protection, they have begun to arm themselves. The city's 3 largest gun stores report a run on rifles. Now back to Marshall Downs for that report.
How is business, Mr. James?
Well, booming. Bang, bang, booming. Actually, don't say anything like that on the air. We're expecting a big new shipment tomorrow.
What do you think all this gun buying means, Mr. James?
Well, I know what it means to me. I'm not going to be out on the streets after dark.
Because of the asylum killer?
No. Because of the people I'm selling the guns to.
Meanwhile, the police continue their investigation of this morning's gruesome murder. At the scene of the 5th slaying, Police Commissioner McMillan had this to say in response to a question from your newscaster.
You may tell your viewers tonight that an arrest is imminent.
Imminent? Do you mean this is the asylum killer's last murder? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying the next time I have to see any of you will be at the press conference I'll call when I announce the arrest of the asylum killer. Now, that's all, gentlemen.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A promise from the police commissioner and a challenge to that promise from the asylum killer. Already proclaiming 2 more victims before an arrest can be made.
There's no doubt about it. Hydrosulfurous acid with 8 percentage points mercury content. There's only one company that makes it that way. Here. Allied General Chemical Company.
Coverage of the Bay Area News. This has been KYES.
Hi, honey. Sorry I'm late. I called a couple of times, but you were out.
Oh, really? I bet if you try real hard, you could guess where.
At dinner time? I have no idea. Where? Sounds like a logical explanation.
But you did make the arrangements, didn't you? Peking duck 24 hours in advance.
No, Sally, I didn't do anything of the sort. I don't even know where you got the idea.
Well, I got the idea from the restaurant. They called me this afternoon, and they told me that my religious holiday, so it never occurred to me to check.
Oh, what religious holiday?
The religious holiday celebrated by men who worship their wives.
Oh, come on, Sally. That doesn't even sound like me.
That's exactly what Mother said.
Oh, she did?
I argued with her. I told her I thought it sounded exactly like you.
Sure you don't want a drink?
I think I'll have a drink. Mac, if you didn't order the dinner, then who did?
Probably somebody playing a practical joke on you, which I don't find very funny either. Did you eat the duck?
Well, they would have been offended if I didn't. You know the Chinese.
No, but how was it?
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Paper come tonight?
No, he got away with it again. I don't think that's very funny either, stealing the police commissioner's paper.
He's just a dog. He doesn't know who I am.
Well, it wasn't a dog tonight unless he's taken up wearing trousers. I saw him dashing off with it when I came home.
You saw a man taking the paper?
Well, I didn't see him actually taking it, but the paper was gone and the man was running away. What else could it be?
I think I'll take a look.
Where did you find that?
Behind the tree where I told the paper boy to throw it to keep it away from that dog.
Then that man wasn't after the paper?
Oh, I'm sure he was. He just didn't know where to look.
Well, I wish he'd stolen the paper. I wish someone had stolen the television set. Mac, you don't think that the asylum killer is going to get away with this new threat, do you?
What new threat?
Well, it was on television. He wrote the station another letter.
I wish he'd write us.
Well, he probably knows you wouldn't give him half the attention that the press does.
Nobody is giving him more attention than I am. I have men all over the city trying to find him. What'd the letter say?
This time he promises 2 victims to die simultaneously.
When'd you hear that?
It was just on.
I'll call Enright.
You mean you really don't know? On the news, it sounded like you were ready to make an arrest.
I'm ready, all right. I just don't know who to arrest. Oh, he's not there. Well, here's one for you.
Go, Tom. Go, Tom. Got call. She got a call. Aunt Hill. Aunt Hill. Aunt ill. Her aunt's ill. Teabag say apple tournament. She'll be back the day after tomorrow. She got a call that her aunt is ill and she'll be back the day after tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Where does her aunt live?
Oh, they just moved again. Somewhere near Bishop, I think.
Seen the letter opener?
Isn't it there?
You sitting on it?
No. Oh, Mildred must have borrowed it and forgotten to put it back. Of course. All the food in the refrigerator.
She used the letter opener on the food in the refrigerator?
No, that's why she prepared all that food. The refrigerator is stuffed. That's to last us until she gets back.
And speaking of food, where's my duck?
I want you to give it another minute. I want it to be just right.
I wonder what she did with it. You know, Sally, I'm proud of you.
Proud of me?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Not too long ago, if you'd thought I'd stood you up, you wouldn't have been here when I got home. You'd have run home to Mother.
Well, I might have this time, except when I got home, I walked in the door and the phone was ringing, and it was Mother telling me goodbye.
I didn't know she was going anywhere.
She wasn't going anywhere, but she won one of those ridiculous telephone contests. You know, they ask her questions, she answered. Well, now she's on her way to a free weekend at that new resort, Moon Mountain.
Oh. First Mildred, now your mother. It looks like a mass exodus.
I hardly call my mother and Mildred a mass anything.
I wish we had a sick aunt to get us out of town for a few days. I'd even settle for an anemic cousin. Well,
Acapulco?
I made arrangements with the department to be out of town for a few days, but obviously now we can't go.
You don't have to explain that to me.
We'll keep the tickets, just change the date of departure. And tomorrow night I'll take you out to dinner someplace you've never been before, and this time I will be with you, I promise.
You don't have to take me anyplace special. I much prefer plain old hamburger with you to Peking duck without you.
We're gonna make tomorrow night an occasion, even if we never leave the premises.
Oh, I like that part about never leaving the premises.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't get home in time to hear that. Nobody knows what time I got home. If I don't answer it, they'll just call somebody else, that's all. I'm too conscientious for this job. Hello, Enright here. A telegram? Yeah, go ahead, read it.
Tried unsuccessfully to reach you by phone tonight. Have decided a weekend off may do us both good. Am taking Sally on a trip. Why don't you try it? See you on Monday. Mac.
A trip? Well, I know he's going on a trip. I mean, I was there when he picked up the tickets. Huh? Oh, no, operator, I wasn't talking to you. But thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
I'll know it when I find it. It's bound to be a sale between 80 and 100 gallons. Hey, wait a minute. Salamac. Is that the name of a company?
Tell you the truth, I don't know.
Do you have a phone book?
Over there.
No Salamac Company here.
Well, it's signed for by Mr. R. Salamac, 250 Trenton.
Thank you.
Flowers, I'll give you some champagne to go with it.
Why do we have to wait? Are you warming that too?
Will you look in the refrigerator? There's a note on it.
Well, it's from Mildred. You know I can't read it.
I know it. It says, "Happy birthday. To be consumed at midnight to commemorate yet another year. Love, Mildred."
She makes it sound like an anniversary. Still, it's a good year. Do we have to wait?
We do. It's a nice way to begin my birthday.
It smells good.
I know it is good.
Got a fork.
Oh, shoot.
There aren't any knives.
Don't be ridiculous. Of course there's knives. Mac, there aren't any knives.
Well, that's what I said.
How is it?
Delicious. What are you doing? Check the sterling.
Mac, you don't think that somebody is... That's a ridiculous idea. Knives are gonna be right here.
Who did you tell this year?
Nobody. Mac, you don't think it's a joke, do you?
Well, offhand, I'd say we've been robbed.
The TV's here. I was just watching it. And all the appliances are here. Isn't that what they usually take first, Mac?
Your better homes have been known to...
The jewelry, I'll check it.
Well, check in right again.
Hello. Oh, Sergeant Enright. How nice to hear from you again tonight.
Loretta, I'm very, very sorry about having to work late tonight.
Oh, that's all right, Sergeant. When you canceled our dinner, I decided to spend the evening with an old friend.
Oh, well, I figured that there was someone waiting in line to take my place. But I'm glad you got home early.
I never left home.
Oh, you mean your friend came over to your house? Is he still there? I mean, look, Loretta, I can call back later.
No, I'm glad you called. I miss being with you tonight, Sergeant.
Yeah, so did I. I mean, I miss being with you, Loretta. And I was kind of hoping that we could just leave tonight. I've got reservations and everything. Separate rooms, of course.
Reservations? Are we going? I am talking to Sergeant Charles Enright of the San Francisco Police, aren't I?
Is something wrong? You can't go?
Well, it's just such an unexpected invitation. I mean, especially coming from you, Sergeant. I've never known you to be so impulsive.
Well, it's the first time I ever have been. And if you can't go, it's probably going to be the last.
Oh, I can go. I've been waiting for someone to invite me to Moon Mountain ever since it opened, but I never dreamed it would be you.
Yeah, well, neither did I.
Enright's still busy. Stereos there, antiques, paintings.
Nothing is missing.
You sound disappointed.
Well, I am. It's a little bit unflattering to be told that your jewelry isn't even worth stealing. There's some really nice pieces in here.
Camera's still here.
Mac, it just occurred to me, that man who's outside. He's the thief that invited us out to dinner so he could burgle a house. It wasn't a practical joke. Oh, Mildred just misplaced that. No, of course. We just thought that Mildred misplaced that.
Knives and a letter opener.
It's so strange. You know, my knitting needles are missing, too.
Knitting needles?
Yeah, well, I was going to knit while I was waiting for you to come home tonight, but I couldn't find my needles. I found my knitting, but I couldn't find my needles.
Knitting needles, knives, letter opener, scissors, Sally.
Scissors? Of course, everything else was sharp.
No scissors.
Mine too.
Let's check in the kitchen.
No scissors, Mac.
My tools are gone. Sharp objects.
Well, I just don't understand it.
What other sharp objects do we have? Fireplace tools. By a party unknown.
Who was trying to get us out of the house so he could rob us. Only he didn't take anything of value.
Value to him is obviously different than value to us. He took only sharp objects.
Obviously, he didn't want us to cut. What? Ourselves, Mac?
I doubt that.
Could it have possibly been Mildred? Could she have done something with all of our sharp objects?
Well, that's good thinking. When a housekeeper like Mildred lives with you, she's definitely a suspect at all times. What if he's still on the phone? The good sergeant. First he's out, then he's in, then he's out again.
No, I always keep this with me. I feel naked without it.
Oh, like I feel without my weapon?
I have a lot more in here than just a weapon. These are the big guns. Eyeshadow, makeup base, wrinkle cream, and milk cleanser.
Well, I promise I won't steal it.
Okay. Champagne. Sergeant, is this the real you?
No, it isn't. But then it's not the real commissioner to give me the weekend off either.
This is really quite exciting, Sergeant.
Are you going to call me Sergeant all weekend, Loretta?
I love calling you Sergeant. I mean, I like that you're a sergeant, don't you?
Well, sure I do. It's just that I want to forget it for the weekend. I mean, I want to let Charlie Enright out to howl for a couple of days.
Well, I find Charlie Enright adorable also.
You know, Loretta, I really didn't think that you were going to come with me. I mean, I really didn't think that you would. I mean, there must be a whole line of fellas just waiting to take you to nice places.
Well, a lot of guys call me, yes, but you're my only sergeant. Sergeant.
Mac? I have solved it.
Oh?
It was Mildred.
She took all our knives to her aunt's?
No, she had them sharpened. Don't you see, some man probably came to the door and Mildred gave him everything that we own to be sharpened. Doesn't that sound exactly like Mildred? They'll be back tomorrow, nice and sharp. Only why did she give him my knitting needles and the letter opener?
And the fire poker.
Only that really sounds like Mildred, too, doesn't it?
I suppose so, honey.
Mac, if it wasn't Mildred, then the person that took all of our sharp objects would have to be insane, wouldn't he?
Central?
Central, over.
412 here. What's Commissioner McMillan's address?
250, Trenton.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Mac, you know that double murder that the asylum killer has planned?
Mm-hmm.
You don't suppose he has anybody special in mind, do
Well,
you?
now, let's not...
Mac, I think I'll take you up on that drink. Oh. That's so strong. Just what are you trying to take my mind off of?
It's what I'd like to get your mind on. Arriba.
Arriba.
Why don't we begin celebrating your birthday tonight? Let's check into a hotel, have breakfast in bed, spend the rest of the day there, and go out on the town tomorrow night. A real 24-hour celebration.
What a tempting idea, especially the part about spending the day in bed. You always did know how to make a girl an offer.
Then let's go.
Mac, next year. I don't think the police commissioner should be chased out of his house tonight.
No one's chasing me. I wanted to take you to Acapulco, didn't I? But since we have to stay in the city, the least I can do is take you to a hotel for the night.
You're only offering because you think I'm scared.
Are you scared?
Oh, yes.
Then let's go.
Mac! Come here. You can't run away every time your wife is a little scared.
That's what I love about you. If we stay, do you think you'd be able to sleep?
Of course. He didn't take the bed, did he?
All right. I'll get a patrol car to cruise the neighborhood.
Nothing wrong with that. As long as he doesn't bother us.
Oh, why don't you look under the hood?
Keep us warm. It's not on ice.
Well, that's okay, because I am.
No. You know, I'm very, very, very fussy. Oh, excuse me. They're really fussy about the kind of champagne that they drink.
Oh, I know. I know some men who think they can't get down anything but Dom Perignon.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Oh, it's good, too.
Oh. Well, all I knew is that I wanted something, Skull, something important. I mean, I wasn't going to settle for any of that domestic stuff. Hey, that's really good.
Sally, you know what I'm thinking?
You got a solution.
I'm thinking maybe I should go back into law practice.
Oh, Mac.
Well, it'll be okay if I could keep my public life out of my private one, but I can't seem to do that.
Well, that's exactly the way I like it. You know, I'm very suspicious of men who do not involve their wives in their work. And you know yourself that my dad said that my mother could put clues together faster than he could.
Well, I wish she were here tonight.
Don't you find that a little strange?
What?
That Mother's not here? But why would anybody want to get my mother out of town?
Yeah, well, she does have a way of dropping in unexpectedly.
I never thought that bothered you.
It doesn't. I love your mother.
How nice. Still, I wish that Mildred's aunt could have held on until Mother got back.
Do you have a phone number for Mildred's aunt, just in case Mildred does know where the knives are?
Not since she's moved. Anyway, Mildred's not going to get there till tomorrow morning. She takes the bus. Mac, you don't suppose there is a possibility that Mildred is going to find her aunt in good health? A possibility that it's all part of the same plan that got me out of the house so we could be robbed, the same plan that got us robbed, and the same plan that got my mother out of town for the weekend.
I think it's a possibility it's all part of the same plan.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and it's also a possibility that by the light of day, none of this will seem so puzzling.
You're not trying to tell me that you could sleep.
You wouldn't care to join me, would you?
Well, it's not that I couldn't sleep. It's just that I did have this book that I was dying to finish.
What book?
A War and Peace.
I didn't know you'd started it.
Oh, I haven't. I just thought tonight would be an ideal night to start it and to finish it.
Well, I probably couldn't sleep either.
You are so cute when you lie. How about Scrabble?
Scrabble.
Thanks a lot. How can you keep your mind on Scrabble?
Well, if I don't, you know where it will be.
Well, I guess I'd better call for help.
Call? There's no one around to hear you.
Well, I have a car phone. Of course, I wasn't planning to use it on this trip, but it's a lot faster than calling an auto club.
You know, I was telling my roommate about all the advantages of dating a man like you, and I didn't know you had a car phone, but I'll put that on my list.
Your list? Well, I'd sure like to hear that list. I mean, what does someone like you see in a cop?
Well, I think best of all, I like that you like being a cop. You do, don't you?
Yes. I mean, why else would I do it?
Well, I'm a model for the money that's in it.
Oh, well, I don't know of any cops that are in it for the money.
I don't think I've ever gone with anyone that could make that statement.
Hello, operator. This is Sergeant Charles Enright of the San Francisco Police Department.
It just gives me goosebumps hearing you say it.
Oh. Well, maybe it's the cold.
No, it's you. Really?
Yes, operator. This is Sergeant Charles Enright of the San Francisco Police. And I think I've just run out of gas.
Well, that's all I can get.
Rear? Well, why didn't you make it deer?
I don't have a D.
Oh. Well, you ruined my play. No, here, I've still got one. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 is 9.
Death. That's a swell word. How'd you think of that?
Why hasn't that patrol car arrived?
I'm sure it already has. You don't think they're going to shine a spotlight in the living room just to let us know they're here, do you? They patrol outside, because if there's someone to find, that's where he'll be.
If they find him.
If there's someone to find.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
What if he's there and they don't find him? Oh, this game is not doing me a bit of good, Mac. My mind is still you know where.
Let's play another kind of game. One that's a little more dangerous.
Like what?
Well, if there is someone out there, he's probably waiting for us to go to bed before he makes his next move.
So we turn out the lights and nab him.
Are you game?
It's a lot more interesting than Scrabble.
Loretta, we're here. Moon Mountain. Loretta, look, this is the trip you've been waiting for a whole year for someone to take you on, and now someone has. Loretta, you all right?
Hadn't we better go home now, Sergeant? I mean, isn't it getting late?
Loretta, don't go to sleep. We're here, Moon Mountain, and... well, no wonder everybody's talking about it. I mean, it's fantastic. Please?
Stay here.
Okay.
Well, Mac, nothing's happened. What now?
I think we'd feel better if we took a stroll through the neighborhood.
Oh, what a wonderful idea. By moonlight, it'll even be romantic. Isn't it a perfect night for a stroll?
Oh, I always try to take a walk on garbage night. That's when the street looks its best.
Well, why don't you not look down? You should look up at the stars.
That's one of the things I... Open up! Police!
Forgive Mac. He's a killer. But that's why we got him, of course. To protect us from the asylum killer.
Well, I'm sorry, but a man just ran through your door.
Oh, that was Harry. He lives here. And I recognize you from the TV. You're the police commissioner, right?
Yeah, that's right, ma'am. This is my wife, Sally.
Oh, Mrs. Commissioner. I told Harry he was going to have to cut that out now that we have a police commissioner living in the neighborhood.
What exactly was Harry doing?
Come on, Harry. Tell them. Maybe the commissioner will show a little mercy, since we're neighbors, and they won't give you the electric chair.
Well, since her mother moved in with us, Commissioner, we're a 5-can family, but I still only got 4 cans. So on garbage nights, I slip the extra into other folks' cans. You know, you have 4 cans, Commissioner, but you're not really much more than a 2-can family.
Well, I mean, you can have one of our cans.
Maybe just borrow it until you have kids, or her mother comes to live with you.
I feel better now, don't you?
Isn't it amazing what the mind can imagine?
Uh-huh.
And how simple it all is when you have an explanation? It wasn't a prowler at all.
Happy birthday, sweetheart.
This is going to be a terrific birthday. You know, I feel 10 years younger than I did 10 minutes ago.
How old are you now, anyway?
What a tacky question.
Well, I'm not so sure I ever did know.
I don't think you're ever gonna know. The only part you have to know is the part about till death do us part.
You had to say that, didn't you?
Well, it just slipped out.
What's more?
You know, I'm beginning to get really sleepy.
Oh, yeah? Drug. Sally. Sally, wait now.
Okay, Joe, we're all set.
Let's go over the checklist again.
Okay. Food cleared, windows checked, doors checked, check. What are you so worried about?
I don't take chances. Not in this job.
Look, I don't take chances either. The list was correctly posted on the door. In fact, what I am showing you is that everything has been checked.
Okay. Just seems kind of funny, everything done. They must have got here awfully early.
You know what they always say, the early bird gets the worms.
What is it, Mac? What's happening?
I'm not sure yet. Get out.
Are you all right?
Yeah. I just feel just spent the day now.
Mac, it looks as though there's a bag over the house. Is that possible?
Exterminators?
Exterminators? I didn't call them. I've been meaning to call them, but I know I didn't call them.
I know you didn't call him. Neither did I.
The asylum killer. This is how he's gonna kill us, Mac. He likes his victims to die slowly. That's his style. With a double header, Mac.
We're not gonna die slowly. We're not gonna die at all. We woke up just in time.
Mac is dead. Mac, you can burn it.
Can't. Non-flammable. Maybe I can cut it. Stand back.
Here, Mac, please put these under the bed.
There's still time. There's plenty of good air upstairs. Come on.
Mac, I know that gas is heavier than air, so it rises. But it does rise. Oh, Mac, we've got to think of something else to try.
Yeah.
Mac, what are you doing? You can't cut through canvas with a pole like that?
No, but I can push at it.
And somebody will see us.
Get back.
Here,
Fantastic.
try my specialty. Try. Help! Help! What?
They're not going to hear it. We'll get out. We'll make it.
How?
Well,
Oh,
you've
man.
forgotten to get through. They'll investigate.
My mother. She's always fighting with the telephone company. But not long distance, Mac. Mildred's not gonna call us. Everybody else in town is used to the bad service. They won't even think about it. Nobody's gonna check, Mac. Nobody.
I'm sure Enright will be calling to check.
Loretta, walk on over to the window, huh? I mean, I got this wonderful room with a view I've looked forward to it from the very first moment that I ever saw you. I know you're out of my league, Loretta, but what's the point of going out with someone who isn't out of my league? Only this isn't really the way I imagined it. It's just that I thought before we fell asleep together that we'd be awake together. You know, I wish the commissioner had never even sent me that telegram. Come to think of it, it's really not like the commissioner to send me a telegram. Operator, I'd like to place a call to Acapulco. You awake, Loretta?
Here, breathe through this. I've got another idea. Let's go to the attic. Here.
Gee, this is better up here. For how long, Mac?
Oh, we have 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, the way I read that, we have about an hour.
Hey. Happy birthday.
I've forgotten all about it. Well, it's one birthday I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Certainly got us into one this time, didn't I?
It's not your fault.
I always think I can handle anything.
You can. You know, Mac, I'm not afraid of dying as long as we're together. I'd just be afraid to go on living without you.
Mrs. Hall, I never expected to see you here.
It's an unexpected pleasure for me, too, Sergeant. How are you?
I'm just fine. Are you alone?
Are you trying to pick me up, Sergeant?
No, but I'd love to buy you breakfast. Look, I hate counters. We could move over to that table.
What a lovely idea. Thank you. Does your room have a nice view, Sergeant?
Oh, yes, I've been looking at it all morning. It's also the most expensive view I've ever had.
Well, I wouldn't know about that, Sergeant. I'm not paying for my room. I won this trip.
Won it? Well, how did you do that?
One of those phone contests where they call and ask you a question.
Oh. Well, what was the question you had to answer to win a trip like this? I mean, it must have been a Lulu.
Oh, it was, Sergeant. They wanted to know the name of the police commissioner of San Francisco. I wish Mac and Sally were here. What if they didn't get away to Acapulco? Perhaps I should give them a call. They could fly up this afternoon.
Oh. Well, I'd love seeing the commissioner.
the death march. I didn't know we had the death march.
We don't. This isn't ours.
He put it there. He thought of everything.
As a matter of fact, he didn't. Mr. Fitzsimons.
Mr. Fitzsimons. We haven't even seen him since the last time he turned us into the police for playing the records too loud.
Why don't I go downstairs and play the stereo too loud?
No, you can't go down there.
I have to.
You can't.
You'll know I made it when you hear the music.
Have you come to save us?
I'm afraid not, Mrs. McMillan. Though I'm touched you're able to see the potential for kindness that lurks beneath this mask. I am here to be with you at the end, however.
I thought you'd come to save us.
No one will come to save you, Mrs. McMillan. But it's almost over now. So why not relax and stop fighting it? You must be very sleepy.
Someone is coming to save us.
No. And your disappointment will only be the greater if you continue to think that. You've done all you can, Mrs. McMillan. I congratulate you and your husband. You've lasted much longer than I thought you would. Are you comfortable?
I know you.
We've never met, Mrs. McMillan.
Your voice is familiar.
That pleases me. Thank you.
If I don't know you, why are you doing this? I don't understand it.
I'm afraid they never understand. I've told
you filming this.
Just lie here quietly. Everything is going to be fine.
Sally, why did you open the door? Sally!
Welcome, Commissioner.
So you finally showed up. You do. Have to watch, don't you?
How nice to be expected. Your wife seems surprised to see me. Though we've been having a lovely little chat, considering her condition. But I can see your mind's not quite as foggy yet. How do you do it, Commissioner? Oh, don't make that mistake. Just after I praised you on how well your mind was working.
Oh, this afternoon? I don't see how. 3 days' work. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I realize. But thank you anyway. Goodbye.
They wanted you to work today?
Yeah, $100 a day.
$400 a day? Well, at those prices, you have got to go back.
Well, what about the prices here? I feel terrible if I've cost you all that money and then just left.
Well, that's all right. It's just that I don't know when I can get away again.
Hey, why don't I cook dinner for you one night next week?
You can cook?
Oh, yeah, I'm a great cook. Of course, I'm not allowed to eat, but I'm a great cook. And thank you for the best sleep I've had in weeks.
Sally, wake up.
He said I could sleep.
Don't sleep.
Now.
Why not leave your wife alone, Commissioner? She's beginning to rest quite easily.
I know who you are. I recognize that voice.
Aren't you even going to ask me the reason why? Only last week, I believe you issued a statement that the asylum killer strikes for no reason at all. I could hardly read that on the air without laughing. There's always a reason. In the beginning, it was only theory, of course. I started by trying to write for television, you know. But my scripts were rejected for their implausibility. Well, I've showed them now, haven't I?
You've been acting out your rejected scripts.
And most convincingly, you'll have to admit, Commissioner, I've terrified an entire city.
With the aid of your nightly telecasts, yes.
That was all part of my plan. Once I decided to produce my own scripts and prove how plausible my plots were, I made sure they got the television coverage they deserved. I'm the only newscaster who's dared show how incompetent the police really are.
What a pity you won't be able to hear how I report your deaths on my newscast tomorrow evening. The supreme example of police ineptitude. You're beginning to annoy me, Commissioner. Don't force me to shoot you.
And wreck a plot as ingenious as yours. That would be too bad.
But I will if I have to.
I can't believe a mind as subtle as yours would resort to simple gunplay, unless, of course, you're planning something far more ingenious than I suspected. A triple play instead of a double header.
Triple play? What are you talking about?
With all this gas, you fire that gun and the flash of it'll blow the roof off this place. Unless, of course, victims die now. Can you go out with 6 and 7?
What are you doing?
Fire it. We can all go together. Maybe we can even dance.
Turn that on!
Sally.
Hey, there's people in there. Call the police.
The trouble with people who invent implausible plots is they don't recognize one when they hear it.
Well, isn't Moon Mountain everything I said? Oh, it's so wonderful you could all get away and get here for the weekend.
Oh, Mother, that was just a lovely excuse for you to stay another week waiting for us. Don Perignon. Sergeant, you shouldn't have.
Well, some people are very choosy about their champagnes. Mrs. McMillan, happy birthday a week late.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I'll never complain again about being a year older.
What's the matter, Commissioner? You're not drinking.
Oh, no, it's not that, Sergeant. It's just that reminds me of the last time I had champagne to celebrate Sally's birthday. I was unconscious before I could finish it.
Well, don't worry, darling. From now on, I'll be your official taster.
Hey, I like the sound of that.